About that SEC Player of the Week and what it means for you.
I mean, it's such a huge honor. It's my first one ever as a Gator, and I have so many people that I want to thank. You know, it's all about my teammates, and it's about us getting a team win, you know, these past couple of games, and it's been really exciting to get those two first SEC wins of the season, and our girls are really excited about it, and we're just looking to build off of that momentum going against Mississippi State on Thursday.
How sweet is it to, you mentioned, have a couple of wins behind that award?
It's huge. You know, it gives us a lot of confidence, and it is going to be something to look forward to on Thursday. I think our girls are finally seeing, you know, how when we consistently do our thing, that we can be pretty dang good.
What do you think the difference was coming from behind on Sunday against Ole Miss as opposed to other games where you guys have struggled to come back from behind?
Well, I think it's because we were doing it on both ends of the floor. I think we were doing it on defensive end and on the offensive end. We were running our plays, getting good shots and hitting them. And I think also, you know, on defense we were getting stops and not fouling and doing what we need to do, versus I think in games past we have, you know, maybe fouled on certain defensive plays, or maybe we had a turnover on the offensive end, which that is, you know, a 4-point swing, so or possibly even 6, you know, it just depends. And so I think that's where we have tightened up on, you know, in practice we've really been focusing on that, especially rebounding on the defensive end, and also, you know, we've been doing really well on the offensive boards as well. We've been trying to get as many extra opportunities as we can to score.
Kenny, just your thoughts looking ahead to this Mississippi State game, your thoughts on having to guard one of probably the biggest women in the country and probably the most talented.
Biggest women in the country, yeah. She's very large, and she's very good with her size and everything. However, it's not like anything different. I mean, there's Mercedes Russell, there's Aisha Wilson, there's a lot of those in the SEC, and, you know, have gone against her for the past couple of years of my career. You know, it's not something that I'm necessarily quite so like, oh my goodness, like the wow factor, but it'll be interesting to help our freshmen go through that first big SEC Girl Challenge. And so it's more so about preparing how to, you know, attack, you know, that sort of size and everything, versus, you know, focusing on what she can do. We're going to focus on what we can do to go against her.
I mean, how much of the game plan is, I'm sure it's not just you versus her, but how much of it is just the team concept of the defense and kind of, you know, focusing on that, I suppose?
Well, right. So that's really what it's about. It's not about one-on-one matchups ever. You know, it's about us. It's we over me. And so I think for us, we're going to focus on different defensive concepts, which are going to deal with her size, because we do have an obvious mismatch there. But then there's also going to be, you know, Victoria Vivians is a tremendous SEC player. You know, she led the conference in scoring at different points throughout the season in her career at Mississippi State. And so she presents a really great challenge. I mean, Morgan Williams, she's a fantastic point guard. So it's not just about one threat either. There's plenty of other threats that they have on their team. So it's going to be a total team defensive effort to try to put a win out on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think is the biggest key for you guys to go in there and get a win?
Defense. I mean, this conference, you have to play great defense in order to get wins in this. And, you know, I think if we can play overall team defense, especially the past couple of games we've been playing together and we've been communicating and not fouling and getting stops, I think we have a chance to beat anybody if we can be that well defensively.
And what do you guys think about offensively? This is a team that can apply a lot of pressure for almost the whole 40 minutes.
Well, and so with that, you know, we've been working on staying calm and trying to, you know, limit our turnovers, you know, and we got a little out of hand there this past Sunday, but we got ourselves in check, versus in games past, maybe we would have a few more turnovers before we got ourselves under control. So I think that it's more so about taking a deep breath and knowing that we're going to run our stuff, and we've been also, you know, wiser about what turnovers we have, I guess, is the better way to put it, versus having a live ball turnover, which maybe could give them a run out layup. Maybe it's, you know, throwing a post feed that's a little bit too high, but it goes out of bounds, so we can go back and set our defense up. I mean, of course, you want to avoid turnovers as best you can, but sometimes, you know, you just make a little bit of an error and you can't help that. I mean, I don't think there's been any basketball game with 0 turnovers in it, but I don't know, maybe that's just me.
Haley, did you watch the shot Mississippi State took last year against UConn?
I did. I was watching that game just because, you know, even though we weren't in postseason play, you know, just to see 2 SEC schools go so far, and then to watch Morgan Williams hit that shot, I think I was just as happy, just because of a competitor and just because, you know, they're an SEC team. It was quite a shot, and I was very excited that, you know, I'm sorry, UConn, but I'm glad that they kind of lost. So there's that.
And Haley, What was that day off like yesterday with a winning streak, you know, 2 straight conference wins? What was it like being able to mull it over and come into practice today?
You know, it's funny because I was actually, you know, I'm working for a local company here called Car Sports, and he sent me an article to read. He sends me lots of articles to read, but it was a particular one about Nick Saban and how even after, you know, he lets the championship soak in for maybe 24 hours, and then he's like, okay, time to focus on the next season, and here we go. And I think that's just the mindset that I try to have, is just not getting too high or too low with any win or loss. And so I think it was really cool it was really cool to have that win and to, you know, be able to come back and win that game, and it meant a lot to our team. But I think also we can't get too high either, because we have a huge challenge coming on Thursday, and I think it'd be great if we could keep the streak going.
I think the buzzer signals we're out of time.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was our cue.